I was in an abusive marriage for 14 years before I met him. I get beaten, insulted, and sometimes he throws my things out and later picks them back up. I'm the type I don't say what I'm going through in my marriage. I suffered a lot, but never thought of cheating or leaving until one of his brothers decided to let me further my education. When I was ready for school, my husband was not in talking terms with me for almost 8 months, so I got myself ready and went to school. One day, when I was in school, one of our tenants called to tell me that my husband now brings women into our house. I got so broken and decided to leave the marriage when I get back home. One afternoon, a number called me and it was a very close friend of my husband. He knows whatever my husband does, where he womanizes the kind of women he has been dating, and he has even come for his girlfriend. So he called to tell me what my husband has been doing all these years. It was almost time for my exams to be over for me to go home. I got so broken, and one of my colleagues walked towards me and said, "Are you okay?" I responded yes, with tears flowing out. He took me out of the crowd and tried to know what was wrong with me, but I kept saying I'm okay. So he said he will leave me alone for now, but will continue checking up on me. In the evening, we were having an evening class in groups, and this guy was in my group. I couldn't go to class, so he called to ask me where I was. I asked who he was and where he got my number from. He said he got it from the school group to check up on me since I couldn't show up for the class. I was so sick, so I told him I'm not feeling well. That's what was wrong with me, and I told him my head aches. He said sorry and hung up, and later I had a call from him again that he has gotten me some medications. I came out from the hostel and took the medicine from him. He saw me still crying, and he held my hand and said, "I don't know what you are going through, but everything will be fine." I thanked him and went back inside. He kept on calling and checking up on me until the weekend was over and I went to class again. He became so caring and always wants to see me happy. My birthday was due. He got me a cake and drinks. He celebrated my birthday for me with some few friends, and that was my first time someone has celebrated my birthday. I was a bit happy and became so comfortable around him. One day after lectures, I called my mom, who is the only person I talk about my marital issues. She knows what I was going through, but kept on saying I should have patience, that everything will be fine. But this time, I was so upset and I told her I can't continue anymore and then I'm tired. She replied that if I leave the marriage, all the properties will be given to another woman who my husband will marry. I asked her that, is it because of the properties that I should die? She hung up. I got so broken, switched off my phone and went to sleep. I didn't want anyone to know what I was going through. One of the ladies came to tell me that I have a visitor. I told her that I don't want to see anyone. Later, I heard someone asking me, "Are you okay?" When I got up, it was the same guy again. He saw me crying. He asked if I wanted to talk about it, and I said no, I'm okay. He left, but I really wanted to talk to someone, so he called again, said he was so much worried about me. So I asked him where he was, that I wanted to talk to him. We went and I told him everything that I was going through. He started crying. I cried a lot and he hugged me and said everything will be fine. But I got so relieved after that day. I slept like a baby that night. Since then, he became a very good friend of mine. He makes me happy all the time. He assists me with every work I'll be given on campus, and gradually I fell in love with him. I could see he was having the same feelings, but I was still wearing my ring. And sometimes my husband also calls me. Time ran fast. One evening, we were having entertainment on campus, so we sat somewhere having a conversation, as we always do. I was talking and all of a sudden he kissed me. I was shocked, but I felt loved at the same time. Then he said sorry and told me that he's in love with me. He can't hide it anymore, with tears in his eyes. I held his hand and told him I'm having the same feelings for him. We had a long talk that night, and since then we started a relationship. The semester ended and we were about leaving. He stays in Accra and I'm also in Kumasi. It was so hard for both of us to depart. We met at a guest house and we made love. My first time of having an affair outside marriage. I was so sad, but that was the best sex I have ever had in my entire life. I came back home from school and all I see is sadness around. And this time, all I wanted was to get out of my marriage, until one day, my husband started insulting me. And that was something he does always, but this time I insulted him back. I was so ready to fight him back this time, Unknowingly, I felt something has hit my head and I didn't see anything again. I found myself in the hospital bed and was already 3 days with bandage on my head. My knee was hurt and bruises all over my body. I didn't know what was going on until I became stable and I was told my husband nearly killed me. I was hospitalized for 2 months before I was discharged. I was taken back to the same house again with the same man who nearly took my life. I asked my mom to take me to her place, but she said no. She said it's a marital situation, so I should be there for us to resolve it. I got angry and sad at the same time, and I called my uncle who stood in for the marriage and complained to him, and to my surprise, my uncle said the same thing my mother was saying. Fast forward, with my condition, I started looking for a place to rent with the help of a friend. I got a place, but the issue was adopted, so I wanted them to conclude everything before I leave. But my husband is the brother of one of the ministers in this country. Nothing good came out of it, so I ran for my life because even in that condition, he was still insulting me and asking me to leave his house. So I packed my things with my children and left the house. Eventually, the marriage ended. And all this while, my school boyfriend didn't know what I was going through because my husband destroyed my phone, so I couldn't reach out to him until I moved to my new place. I got a new phone and I called him and told him everything. He said he has tried calling me several times but couldn't reach me, and he was so sorry of what I've been through. Now I'm free. We talked all the time and found myself healing faster than I could imagine. He came and visited me and he got to know my children. I could see they clicked together, so I was happy that he loved my children and that made me love him more. Part 2 is up. Part 2 of I was in an abusive marriage for 14 years. I was so happy that he loved my children and that made me love him more. I could see this guy was so different in any way. He is loving, caring, and everything I wanted in my man. We had a lot of things in common. Not knowing, with all these qualities I saw in him, he is a cheat. He cheated on me and that made us break up for about a year. He even tried taking poison because I decided not to forgive him. His mom called in and apologized. I explained everything to the mother. I was the one taking care of him, but I didn't care. I loved him. I broke up with him for some months and decided to forgive him since he has been begging and I could see he has really regretted his actions. So we came back together. He promised me that it would never happen again. He can even swear on his mother's life that he won't do that again. We were together, but I was always having this feeling that he took my quietness and the love and the care I had for him for granted. So I became a bit aggressive with him sometimes, and he always says he has made me change and he has to fix it. We are not staying together. I have given him money to rent at where we go for our weekend lectures. So he is now staying in Kumasi, but a bit far from where I am staying. And I'm not staying with him because of my kids and because of where they attend school. And he is very much okay with that. I am always available for him. I provide whatever he wants for him. I always pray and support him that things will get better. Not knowing he was still cheating with so many women. He brings them in the same room on the same bed, but still looks into my eyes to tell me that he loves me. This has been going on for a long time, but I had no idea until someone informed me about it and I decided to catch him because if I decide to ask him, he will lie to me. So I went there and I didn't show any signs that I know what he has been doing. I stayed for about a week and this time when I'm around, I don't see the happiness in him anymore. He will do something deliberately to get me angry so that I'll leave and he'll get the chance to do whatever he wants. So after the Valentine's Day, I told him I was leaving to my place. I went to lodge at a guest house. We talked and laughed as always. In the evening, he said he was going to escort a friend to town because it's light out and there's heat in the room. Not knowing he was going to meet a lady he has been bringing to our room. I stood somewhere looking at him. I called him and he didn't pick up. I took pictures of him and the lady and went back to the guest house. He later called to tell me that his friend was enjoying himself with his girlfriend and he was at the place where they were playing music so loud so he couldn't hear me. I said okay. The next day, we had our long conversations as we always do. In the evening, he said he's tired and his battery is almost dead, so he will call me when the lights come and when he wakes up. I said okay. I took a car to his place and I stood at the back of the window, and to my surprise, my man was seriously having sex with another woman on our bed in our room. I nearly fainted. I gathered some strength and went into the room. He was so shocked. He never thought I would be around. I beat the hell out of the lady. My guy was just sitting down crying. I love this guy with all my heart, and I have gone through a lot for him. He knows what I've gone through and promise he will always make me happy. I have spent a lot on this guy. What breaks my heart is he's feeling so proud of what he did this time. He's not showing any sign of regret about what he did. He's even blaming me for his actions this time. I don't know what I have not done for him. I respect him and provide everything he wants just to make him happy. I came back to my place very broken-hearted. After some days, he started begging me to forgive him. I didn't respond to any of his messages. I thought he was genuinely sorry, but to my surprise, he sent an audio that he's sorry for making me leave my marriage for him. He is very much grateful for any amount I have spent on him. And that audio is the last conversation he's having with me. I should live my life and he's living his. Ohima, I'm so brokenhearted. I have loved this guy so much that I don't know what to do. Please keep me anonymous. Wow. Sorry. What do you think she should do? Thank you for watching and follow for more interesting stories.